Hey fellow Nevillers, here we are back again for another personal share to read and share Neville with you lovelies for 365 days plus one. I think we have a leap year this year. So today is part 2 of Occupant or Inmate from 1966 from our main man Neville. Up in this lecture, in the second part I've chosen to share with you beautiful souls, Neville tells us, explains to us how to fall backwards into another state. I've not quite heard him share it this way before, so let's see how he says it. He leads off with this. When Christ imagination begins to stir in you, go all out and completely abandon yourself to a state. That's what we need to do. That's what I'm doing. Determined to either sink or swim, dare to move from one state into another. Ta-da! Many years ago, Blake showed me how to move, how to see infinite man as one. I'm not sure whether Neville means Blake showed him via a book or he had a vision and a dream. The latter's most likely the way Neville was shown, although we did study Blake an awful lot. Back to the lecture, guys. Shares it this way, telling me to let myself go and fall backwards. I fell, just as I have done, from a high diving board into a pool. But this time I fell through interstellar space, and when I came to rest, I saw a heavenly being in the distance. At first it appeared as one man, whose heart was like a flaming ruby. As I approached, I saw that this flaming heart contained all of humanity, all the nations, all the races. Every being in the world was contained in the heart of the one man. That is how I learned how to move from one state to another. Just let yourself go and fall backwards into another state, from one of not being wanted to being wanted. I can't imagine what it feels like to see the whole of humanity in one heart. Maybe I should say I can imagine. We can imagine, right? Because all things are possible to us. Now, Neville shares a little more here. If you know how to move, you are free. So, are you occupying your present state, or are you its inmate? So, are you occupying your present state or its inmate? If you are its occupant, you can move to be another than what you are now. But you must be willing to fall asleep in the desired state and carry it into dream, where it becomes natural. Then, dwelling in the new state of consciousness, day after day, the world will pick up the atmosphere of your dream and fulfill it. Do not ask anyone to help you. Just occupy your desired state, knowingly, not unknowingly as before. Blake saw it so clearly, saying, I do not consider the just or the wicked to be in a supreme state, but to be every one of them in states of the sleep, which the soul may fall into in its deadly dream of good and evil. Neville shares this quote quite a bit in his body of works. He continues, now Blake never used a word in a loose manner. When he spoke of falling into, he meant exactly that. Desiring to see the one man containing all, he told me to fall backwards, and I did. Everyone can do it. No one is less than another. Is that not really empowering? I find that empowering from Neville. Continue here. Christ in you is the hope of glory. Not Christ in a chosen few, but Christ in all. For Christ is what God means by man. There's a reference to this down there in the description, my lovelies. I've went over the God in man, Christ in man, how Neville explains it and how I perceive it in the previous lecture. So let me repeat that again. Not Christ in a chosen few, but Christ in all. For Christ is what God means by man. Are we not told to bring forth Christ? Then he remains with us in labour until Christ be formed in us. When God said, let us make man in our image, he was saying, let us make man who is Christ. For Christ is man, and when man knows who Christ is, he knows they are one. God became man that man may become God. We are not some little thing, but Christ, and we can be anything we want to be if we occupy the state and are not its inmate. So, fellow Nevillers, we'll leave the lecture right here, because it goes into some further stuff I'd like to share with you. We'll do part 3 tomorrow. So today's overview, really, fellow Nevillers, is Neville describing how we fall backwards into a state. I've never heard him say that. And we have to occupy our new state that we want to manifest, i.e. we're in one we're not particularly loving, and then we want to move to another, which is what we've got in our consciousness. We're keeping it top of mind. We're stepping into being and doing and acting from what we want to be. And Neville calls it in this lecture falling into the state, falling backwards, and then taking that into sleep, into dream. And when we take it into dream, it comes to us naturally, is what Neville's telling us. So tonight, if you do this, my fellow Nevillers, well, we're going to do it, right? I'm going to do it. I'm going to take my manifesting dream that I want to be into the sleep state. Let's see how we end up tomorrow, because as we know, what we say and do today was created yesterday, and it's not in the past, it's going forward in the future. So be sure to talk about with your inner conversations exactly what it is you want to be. All right, fellow Nevillers, that's enough babbling from me. Thank you for your time and attention. Please give the video the thumbs up, because YouTube and me, they love thumbs ups, comments and loves. I think they'll be promoting me. So thank you very much. Big fat kiss for today. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.